So the last place value, the historical one we are going to look at, we are going to look at the number system for the Mayans. Oop, there's no S on that. I said Mayans, and then in the sentence, that doesn't make sense. So another example is the Mayan system. And the Mayan is what I'm calling an almost based 20 system, because what they did is something clever, because the Mayans, if you know anything about their history, they were good astronomers, and that led to them really revering their calendar. And they used a 360-day calendar. So because of that, they wanted their number system to match that. So they make a little bitty change to the base 20 system to match that. So they have the almost base 20 system devised to conform to their calendar. So I'm going to show you the Mayan place values, and the Mayans, like the Chinese, wrote their numbers up and down. So we will mimic the same thing. So at the bottom, the Mayans would have the units, okay, just like the Babylonians, just like the Hindu Arabic system that we look at. And then they were primarily a base 20 system. So the next place up would be our groups of 20. Now here's where they deviated just for a second. Okay, now this is where your brain has to, I know, it's going to warp your brain. You're like, okay, I was just getting the place value stuff, and then this happened. Okay, so what they would do now, instead of the next place being 20 squared and then 20 to the third and 20 to the fourth, which would be a just straightforward base 20, what they did next is this. The next place doesn't represent groups of 20, it represents groups of 18 times 20, which is 360. And the reason they did that, this made sense to them because of their calendar. Okay, so again, remember, we're learning how other people thought. Okay, they thought different about numbers than we do. Okay, so we're just learning from what they did. From there, it goes back to being a straightforward base 20. So notice, instead of multiplying here by another 20 and having 20 squared, they multiplied by 18 so that we would get groups of 360. Then from there, they just keep multiplying by 20. So the next place would be 18 times 20 to the second. Okay, so now we're just multiplying by 20. The next one would be 18 times 20 to the third. That would be the next place. I'll go one more because I have room. The next place would be 18 times 20 to the fourth. And you could keep going on and on and on up. There's kind of a little ellipsis at the top. It looks almost like a line, but it was meant to be an ellipsis. So they have this slight deviation. So below is the Mayan numerals. Okay, any table I've given you on our notes sheets, the Babylonian symbols, the Mayan symbols, the ones from the additive places, I will give you those on the test. You need to know what to do with these things, just like we're doing. And so notice one thing the Mayans have that is kind of interesting and a unique innovation in history. They do have a 0 symbol. So if they skip a place, they would use 0 just like we use 0, okay, just to indicate the placeholder. So numerically, they were advanced over the course of history compared to others. So what we're just going to do is the same thing we've been doing. We're going to take a Mayan number. We're going to write it in our numbers just to compare the values. So here's my example that I'm going to do, and then I've got 2 for you. We are going to write this number top to bottom in Hindu Arabic. In fact, I'm going to start at the bottom though, just because all these other ones I've started with the units first. So this is the bottom. This number right here, I've got 3 bars, 1, 2, 3, and a dot. Basically, the Mayan numbers, you'll have the chart, but they're actually pretty straightforward. A bar represents 5, a dot represents 1. Okay, and so this is 5, 10, 15 plus the dot, that's 16. So what I have on the bottom, I'm going to start on the bottom, is I have 16 units. Now I'm going to move up to the next one. The next one, I have 1, 2, 3 dots. So I'm going to have 3 times. Now, what is that? What place is the next one up? Times 20. Yep. So 3 20s. And now I'm going to go to the next one up. The next one I have 5, 10, 11. And I have 11 groups of what? I'm sorry? Which is not 20 to the second power. This is where the Mayans took a little bit of a left turn on us. It's not 20 to the second. The next place value up after our 20s is our 18 times 20s, or our groups of 360. Okay, so it goes, for them, it goes units, it goes 20s, and then it goes 18 times 20, which is 360, not 20 squared. Okay, that's kind of the weird thing. So 11 times 360. And now we're just going to add these up and we'll get the equivalent number in our base 10 system. So 16 times 1 is 16. 3 times 20 is 60. And 11 times 360 turns out to be 40,321. And when I add all those together, I've got 40,000. Hang on. Did I do that right? No, I don't. No, I put 3,600. Good job, Perkster. Let me try again. 11 times 360, not 3,600. I knew that number was a little bit big. 3,960. I'm going to, I just totally messed that up. I don't have any white out, so let me just go. That was 3,960. Write that right above. My apologies for the poor calculator use. Let's see. So 3,960 plus 60 plus 16 turns out to be 4,036. And that is what that number would mean to us. All right, exercise 8, your example. It has 4 place values, notice. Okay, so I'm going to give you a minute or two to write down and then total up what is exercise 8 as one of our Hindu Arabic numbers. So the bottom place, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 dots. So that bottom place is 4. 4 times what for that bottom place? That's my units place. Okay, it's the bottom one, it's my units. So 4 times 1. Okay, the next one, what does this symbol represent? It's the empty basket, okay, and it represents 0. So I have 0, but what does that place represent? Let's just keep track so that we don't skip. It's my groups of what? 20. Perfect. Then the next one is I have 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 8. And the next place up is my groups of what? 18 times 20, right? This is where they deviate from a straightforward base 20 system. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so that's our groups of 360. And then last but not least, I have 1, 2, and I have 2 times. Now, what is this place? It's 20 to the second power times 18. Okay, that 18 doesn't go away when you go up your bases. So we've got the 18 times 20, which is 360 right here. And now each consecutive base, each consecutive place value, we just now multiply by 20. So now I got 20 squared times that 18 from the last one. Then I got 20 to the third times the 18 from the last one. So let me do that multiplication in my calculator. 20 times 20, I think that's 400. And then times 18 is going to be 7,200. So this place, the value is 7,200. Basically, it's 20 times the previous one. And if you had a problem, which I'm not out to exhaust you, but if on your homework you have a problem, the next one would be 20 times that, whatever that would be. Okay. The only deviation in the Mayan system is here, where instead of multiplying by 20 to get from here to here, they multiply by 18 to get from here to here. But then they go back to multiplying by 20 every time after that. Okay, so here in our example, we've got 2 times 7,200, and now I'll do the arithmetic on that. 4 times 1 is equal to 4. 0 times 20 is equal to 0. 8 times 360 is something. It's 2,880. And then 2 times 7,200 is 14,200. And what do we get when we total all those values up? Anybody got that for me? Ends in a 4, I know that. 17,284, that sounds good to me. Do I have confirmation from somebody else that we've added those up? I'll look on my answers from a previous semester, and yes, that is the total. Okay, if anybody gets something different, let's talk about it. Yeah. Yep. Yes, that's what I have right there. It's written down. Yeah. I don't know what you're seeing. Thank you. I might have said that and wrote down the wrong thing, or maybe I just did the wrong thing. Who knows? It's Thursday. My mind might be elsewhere. All right, last problem. Let's see if I can do this one without any errors after you do it. So exercise 9, go ahead and one more time, take that Mayan number and convert it to our Hindu Arabic system, please. All right, so one more time for our friends, the Mayans, we've got 5, 6, 7. So we've got 7 units there at the bottom. Then I have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I've got 9 groups of 20. And then last but not least, I've got 5, 6, 7. And this is the place value. That's the weird one. It's not 20 times more, it's 18 times more, which is 360. All right, so 7 times 1 is equal to 7. 9 times 20 is equal to 180. And then 7 times 360, let's see if I can successfully use my calculator here. So 7 times 360 is 2,520. Did I successfully push the buttons right that time? I know I've been having some calculator issues this section, so I apologize. And now what do we get when we add those up? Perfect. Great job, everybody. Appreciate your help and your patience.